Hey guys, it's JStarWars360 here with a review for you of the teaser slash short for DreamWorks' new film Home. Just a little background in case you don't know. There's a movie out called Mr. Peabody and Sherman, which is an adaptation of the cartoon from the show Rocky and Bullwinkle, which I have already talked about my thoughts on the trailer for it. I've talked about what I think of my thoughts are going to the movie. And in case you don't know, right before you go see Mr. Peabody and Sherman, you're going to get a little short called Almost Home, which is a prequel and also, in a sense, a teaser for DreamWorks' movie Home. And it's on YouTube. I'll have a link down to in the description in case you don't know about it and are curious to check it out. So you can see it and know what I'm talking about. So, the teaser for Home. First off, before I go into this, let me just say a couple things. Number one, it's weird that they're doing this, because I'm pretty sure I've read a couple times that that they were going to show a Rocky and Bullwinkle short before the film. And I'll have an article down confirming this, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading it. And if you go into IMDb, you can find there is a Rocky and Bullwinkle short. So I don't know if they just scrapped it or if they just decided to just put it on the DVD and prioritize advertising Home. But regardless, it is kind of annoying, disappointing to hear them to say screw Rocky and Bullwinkle for this. But again, I understand DreamWorks is a business. They have 3 films a year. And, it's kind of smart because they want to promote the film, but at the same time, their focus right now, DreamWorks' focus right now, it's very clear that the film that they are really pushing as far as advertising is How to Train Your Dragon 2, because as I'll go into in a couple months when I do my thoughts going into How to Train Your Dragon 2, that movie really has a lot of potential to do really well at the box office, so it makes perfect sense that DreamWorks would want to put all their focus there. But at the same time, you do sort of want people thinking about Home. I mean, it's in a really crowded month, and especially considering how the last time DreamWorks released a film in November, it did all right, but it didn't really bring in a lot of numbers, which was Rise of the Guardians. I think DreamWorks wants to afford a number bomb, so it's understandable. So, my thoughts on it, I don't really have much of interest. Let's start with the animation. I'm a little mixed on this. On one end, this looks really out there and unique, but on the other end, all the designs are bland and simple. There's not a lot of detail on this. I mean, it looks really good, but it's just stuff. Wreck-It Ralph, Tangled, some of the Pixar movies. There's so much details and textures and stuff, and here it's just bland colors, which just makes it seem like you're going for little kids. Like, Sony Pictures Animation and Illumination often go for the simple. More so, Sony Pictures often go for that simple design. But to be fair, they are using a new animation software. Starting with How to Train Your Dragon 2, they have a new animation software. So maybe they're just still new with it. They aren't really quite sure how it works. They're just playing it safe and doing something simple. But even so, I think they've had some films that really look great, like Rise of the Guardians, Kung Fu Panda 2. Those are the 2 recent ones I've seen. I haven't seen Croods or Turbo, so I don't know how the animation is in those. But maybe they're doing it that way, but it just doesn't grab me. It kind of reminds me of Escape from Planet Earth, except a little less obnoxious and really kiddie-friendly. Story seems like the aliens are going to be invading Earth with a bit of a comedic tone. It reminds me a bit of Monsters vs. Aliens, which DreamWorks did in 2009. I'm worried it's going to feel similar to that, but at the same time, it seems like the focus is going to be on an alien invasion. Monsters vs. Aliens was very much a nod to B movies, and more specifically, monster movies. And this could be lean towards more aliens invasions, but I don't know, it doesn't really grab me. But again, I haven't seen the movie yet. We don't know anything. It's just a teaser. Again, there have been crappy teasers out there that have actually turned, and the films we've gotten from them are actually really amazing. Like Frozen. Teaser sucked. Movie was great. And likewise, we've gotten great teasers for crap, not so great movies, like Man of Steel, which looked awesome, and the movie itself was just It was alright. I will give the movie this, though. The leader of the aliens, or Schmex, is voiced by Steve Martin, and I can't tell it's him. I mean, I kind of know all the films DreamWorks has coming out, and I've looked on IMDb, so I kind of know the cast of this movie, and which kind of has me rolling my eyes, but again, I'll go more into that later in a few months when I do my thoughts going into home, but I can't tell it's Steve Martin. I mean, I could kind of hear it at points, but if I hadn't known it was Steve Martin from IMDb, I never would have guessed it. But it just seems weird casting Steve Martin. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll shine in voice acting, but Steve Martin hasn't been in anything great lately. I mean, he's had the Pink Panther movies, but those were nowhere near as good as the originals. And Steve Martin is what? How old? I mean, I don't know. But I've looked on IMDb. He hasn't been in anything that big recently. And I also have kind of an issue with Steve Martin, which might be fixed in voice acting, which is Steve Martin's a good actor, but the problem is he's very much in the same length as Adam Sandler in most of his movies and Will Ferrell, with the exception of Ron Burgundy, is that I don't see the character. I just see the actor playing this typical character. Like, I always just see Adam Sandler. When in any of his movies, I always see Will Ferrell playing the funny guy in his movies. Steve Martin, I always just see Steve Martin. I never see whatever character he is. And a lot of that has to do with the fact I feel like a lot of times he's playing more or less the same character. Again, he's a good actor. I really like him in films such as Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which is a great movie, and I'd highly recommend you check out. Or, let's see, what else has he been in that's good? Trying to think. Cheaper by the Dozen. Was that... I liked it as a kid. I don't know if I'd like it now, but... Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, yeah, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is good. And a bunch of others. But who knows? Maybe he'll shine in voice acting. Like, Will Ferrell was great as Megamind, and I usually just see Will Ferrell. But Megamind, he completely lost himself. Also, this is going to be the second film Steve Martin is in for DreamWorks. The first DreamWorks movie Steve Martin did was Prince of Egypt, where he was one of the priests. So yeah, so to sum up, I really don't have any interest in Home. It just looks like a dumb little kids movie. At this point, I'm probably only going to see it just because, Animat, Electric Dragon 505, and Animated Hero, and this one girl, I can't remember her name, Cellspec or something. Have just really made me interested in reviewing animated films. So I'll just see it just for the sake of just reviewing everything that comes out this year. And also because I have made habit of reviewing all the DreamWorks movies. But yeah, outside of that, I have really no interest in seeing Home. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on Home. So, first off, Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Did you go and see the movie? And when you experienced the short, what was your reaction? Were you with me? And you liked it or you didn't like it? And even if you didn't see this movie short when you went to see Peabody and Sherman. Let me rephrase that. Even if you didn't see Peabody and Sherman, have you seen this short? And what are your impressions on Home? Do you agree with me? Do you think this movie is or are you legitimately excited for this film? Please comment. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. And as always, like, dislike, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned because, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to, but assuming time permits, which again I'm sure it will, I'll have an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. vlog up in a couple of hours. So, until then, this is J Star Wars 360 signing out.